Hey everybody, One Wisdom here. We just took Krypt King down through his base upgrades. Difficult to document his swarm upgrades, particularly Super Swarm, so we kind of had to venture off to some chapters to take a look at that. That said, we're now going to head back over here to the training grounds, talk to Persephone, select Lord of the Sword again. I prefer the aesthetics of this guy right here, Krypt King, over his in-game variant Alt Deco Nitro Krypt King. Target exclusive here in the US. I like the concept of the Nitro. If I had to pick one of the two, which one was my favorite appearance-wise, it would be this guy. Handily, very handily. It's really not even close in my personal book of aesthetics. Not a huge fan of gold. It doesn't look bad with black, but that much gold on the Nitros, particularly with him. It does fit since he's Krypt King. Again, I've kind of explained it. You got, like the Pharaoh Egyptian pass type thing. And that's kind of why I associate Nitro Krypt King with the Swarm. You go back, think of Plagues, Locusts, everything like that. And just in terms of pure, undead goodness, Lord of the Sword, it fits this character aesthetic in my opinion. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to take Lord of the Sword. Again, you can take that when you buy the last base upgrade. You don't have to watch a pointless cutscene like we just did there, but hey, this is a video to highlight Lord of the Sword. We're going to do that. Now, where we left off, let me hop over to my spreadsheet here. Essentially, box stock, he does 80 to 120, and then an interesting thing on the combo, which is 1, 2, 3 with the primary attack, 80, 96, 128, and then the respective critical hits. The broader the broadsword, that actually ups the stock damage. It changes the sword to obviously 1, but it does 112 to 168. And then if we rapid fire the combo, you can see there 112 to 201 was critical, and then 179. So 112, 134, 179 on the critical side of that would be 168, 201 that you saw, and then 269. So pretty nice little simplistic attacks there from spamming the X button. Haunted Sword is really cool, as is Spectral Slowdown in terms of slowing the enemies. However, the thing to note, you don't have the increased damage with them. They're still doing the 80 to 120 kind of box stock type stuff. So that pretty much recaps you on everything sword related. So we're going to come in here again. I've got 10 wing sapphires. That's why the prices are a little funky. Enchanted armor. Everyone knows what I love most in upgrades is armor and speed. And I'm a big fan of just like the straight plus 40 armor, plus 12 speed, whatever it may be. This is kind of one of those temperamental ones, and I say that because it's contingent upon something. And in this case, enchanted armor is increased upon defeating an enemy. So his armor statistic 24, I'd love to see that just plus 40 to 64. People still totally underestimate how important that is in the game and how much longer it can basically perpetuate your existence, if you will. But the way this one works, it's kind of night shiftish. It's something, the enemy you defeat, the armor goes up. I don't really know how to document this because it's not going to show up statistically, I don't think. So it's going to be one of those deals, if you plow through 15 chompies in a row, you're going to start seeing more of the armor shields pop up, meaning that when the blaster troll is nerfing you from behind with his cannon gun, instead of taking 45 damage, you're taking some fractional percentage of that because of the armor. So, again, I wish it was just a straight number, but it's not. So, that's the best I can do for you. Up next, we will come in, Miss Persephone here.
Ready for another magic?
And we've got the Rich Get Richer. Again, this is very reminiscent of Night Shift. However, it doesn't necessarily drop gold or cash or coins. It's the Rich Get Richer played off of increase in damage, which is actually really nice. So attacks do increase damage after defeating an enemy. So we were sitting, like at the 112, 168. If we chop through an enemy, we're going to do some additional damage. Will it be 113, 114, or does it jump to 288? I don't know yet. I just know it goes up. Price with a 10 wing sapphire, 1760. Yes, we are sure. I don't know if we can showcase. Maybe that one would work. We're doing, again, 112 to 168. I'm going to do slow sword attacks. That was our critical. Okay, so this isn't going to register as a defeated enemy. I didn't know if it would or not. I didn't think it would, but it would have been fantastic if it did. The final attack down Lord of the Sword is going to be combos. I hate doing this, but I mean, I document these things, you know, for a reason. So let's just, again, what I have available, chapter 20 kind of works well. So we don't have a whole lot to investigate, but we're going to try and see what happens. So skip all this jazz. Didn't mean to do that. Alright, as you can see, wait, that hat's skewing us a bit. Is it really plus 11? Yeah, it is. Dragon Skulls, that's why I put it on. So, we're plus 11, he should be 24, you know, box stock. But, again, people rag on me for never wearing hats, so I put them on occasionally. Again, the only goal here is to just get to the little Smurf Clopses and register some damage numbers. So, I'll go through these, I guess, the first round, and we'll just hit them. And see what we can't do, and then we'll start trying to take damage. So let's hit that guy, 112, 156. Okay, 156 on all those. So that is a safe thing to assume we can document. So we beat them. I don't know how many there were, maybe like 5 to 8-ish. So the rich get richer. The 112. What would be a good way? I'm gonna put the, you know, like, I don't know, maybe equals, and then it kind of looks like an arrow, what I did here. So 112 becomes 156, and then again, respectively, your 168. Assuming they do that same method, would become, let's see here, plus 44. I don't know if it's going to do that. Or would it be... I actually have no idea how they derive that number. I'm very tired. That might have something to do with it, but it's not outlined. So 112 becomes 156. So we're cool with that. Attacks do increase damage. Now, does that only apply to the sword, is the next question, or will the swarm do the same thing? So, where do we need to go? Not into spikes. Alright. Again, I really wish I could just, like, spawn enemies at the training grounds. That would be fantastic. I want to know what the Haunted Sword does and if the swarm does increase damage. So we'll try the Haunted Sword first, since it is a sword attack. Again, it's been unaffected so far, but you just don't know. So he really doesn't need money, but it's just a bad habit. Alright, so we're going to defeat that guy, and we're doing our increased damage. Okay, so it does not do increased damage. It was doing the 80 to 120. The swarm, let's see, 84 to 91. Huh. And that is not a charge deal. So that's interesting. The swarm, essentially, I'm thinking, swarm is going to then be, let's see, it was 60 to 90-ish. So it was 60 basically. We're just going to say it becomes 80, I guess. It's really hard to document these strange things. Again, I'm going to try that again. We're going to try to kill only with the swarm and see what we can't do. Okay, figured that was going to happen. Alright. So, I'm going to go ahead and get the swarm out here and see what it does. 91? What does it do with it? I wasn't doing that earlier. Now let's hit this guy one time. There's our 112. Okay, 112. 179. That's a different number. 168. Well, that's not really... well, I guess we didn't defeat him there. So, he's defeated. Let's slug this guy. I'm wanting him to drop that shit. Okay, so 168 to 201. I guess we can document that in parentheses. I don't know what the deal is with the swarm, because it clearly wasn't doing the extra damage prior to that.
I know.
Strange
Who
things.
builds a room with a bunch of bounce pads instead of a bridge? Doesn't make sense. But it's fun though.
Alright. Hop in here. This will be kind of like our final
Skylanders
trial.
of the tech element are stronger in this
So,
zone.
the swarm. 91 critical. 62. So the swarm, when it kills that guy, is gonna apparently jump up and start going 80-ish, right? What are you doing? Yeah, 130, 88. So the swarm does do that. Let's try now to kill him with the broadsword. I don't want to do anything. I don't care if I die. Actually, I do, because I can't test it. So 80 to 120, we killed him with our haunted sword. We might die. We probably will. That's a look at the spectral slowdown. Okay. Well, let's see here. We'll just go back to the academy. That's some really tough stuff to document, you know. Strange things. The armor I forgot to even look at. I never saw the armor actually bump up. So, I think we're going to have to go back. I'll try to take a look at that. But the good news is we can showcase this next upgrade. So,
Ready
yeah.
for another?
I do the best I can. Combo attack. No one else takes the time to do this stuff. So really, I guess nobody has any room to complain. But it is frustrating to me when you take the time to do it and you can't really document things like you intend to. I just want simple, solid numbers, and you can't always do that. Anyway, last upgrade down Lord of the Sword is combo attacks. You get XXB for the Saber Spin and XXY for the Nether Blast combo. That sounds really cool. Price 2,400 with 10 winged sapphires. We'll grab that, pick it up, and take off. Alright, so XXB, that's essentially primary, secondary. That is going to be our Saber combo, Saber Spin. Let's take a look at it right here. Well, it's really nice. It has the jump element with it, so. 2 156s, I think is what I saw. Well, that's a standard combo. Nice if we made contact. Standard combo.
My blade knows no equal.
34. 34. 34. So that seems to be that side. Now, if we get all 3 hits to register, I guess it is 134. Nope, 156. So I guess we weren't hitting them fast enough. 3 hits of
to
156.
play as your captured enemies. Then press the tag button again to return to playing as your Skylander.
Sometimes it just doesn't execute it. And sometimes we get that one. Alright, let's keep trying this. Alright, so Saber is going to be 134 and then 156 3 times. Critical on that would be good grief. 67 and 134 would be 201 to 156, which half of that is what? Not 80, so it's 78, 156. 226, 234, I guess would be critical. Potentially 3 times critical if you got that just right. And then the next one is Nether Blast. That sounds really cool. That's XXY. So your primary, tertiary. And so we'll just call it Blast in the spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and take a look at it. Okay, that's very chop-chopish. I like that. Kind of like Bone Brambler minus the bone plus some little particle effect. You know, so it looks really cool. Let's go ahead and I think he gets decent range on that thing. So, oh yeah, 246. I'm gonna use that a lot. 79. What's the deal there? It wasn't critical. 79. Come on. I didn't see the critical by the 246. What's the difference? 246 again. So
knows no equal.
I don't know. 369. We'll just do the best, you know. 246 to 369 again. 123, 246, 369. I'm not sure where that 179 is coming from. Is the issue. 246. 246. Now, if we hit it multiple times,
All of Skylanders.
nothing. 179 again. Jeez. Then 268. What did that even have
Your
to do
next
there?
challenge awaits you, Portal Master.
This can't be registering those as kills. I mean,
Pyramid power.
I don't know. It's really hard to document this stuff, you know? Again, the main thing, you see me read the upgrades, you get a feel for them, and then you see me attempt to document them, sometimes with gameplay, and it's just one of those deals, you know? Storm Swords, this is his soul gem. You get it with either Swarm Summoner. Storm Swarmer actually sounds like a better... Summoner ties him. Storm Swarmer's cool. Anyway, Lord of the Sword or Swarm Summoner gets the soul gem either way. So, Storm Swords, critical hits cost swords to rain down upon your enemies. 3,200 is the price for the soul gem with our 10-wing sapphires. Let's go ahead and grab that. No aesthetic changes to him when you go down this path, so that's good. We do occasionally get a critical hit, so let's try to do that. We'll just spam this until it happens. Again, I'm just doing XXX, you know, nothing combo on the primary, secondary side. Maybe we'll have better luck if I just wanted to time it. I guess that's what we'll do. So as soon as you see 168, what did those do? I saw them come down, but it was a lot to take in because I didn't know what they looked like. Wow. So, I don't know about this soul gem. Were they doing 11 and 17, I think? 13 and 14, 15 and 12? You tell me. I don't know. It's cool. I mean, it'll come in handy. It's just...
Press the tag button to play as your
11 to
captured
17?
enemy.
I don't know.
Then press the tag button again to return to playing as your Skylanders.
Oh, and again, this is why I don't like critical hits. This is why I prefer straight up armor and straight up speed. But I guess it doesn't matter how many swords rain down. It might be just contingent upon whatever the game decides to do. But sword rain with critical hit, and then 11 to 17 damage. Now it's a question of how many. I'm just going to try to count the swords. I'm thinking I'm going to go with 5. The problem is I have to stand here to actually do it, because without registering critical hits, which those can't even function. I don't know, you know, I can count them when I edit it, but I don't know, that was a circular formation, we know that, 5 or 6. So, good grief, man. Really, I like his upgrades. They're just like insanely difficult to document. There's a 19 in there now. So, 11 to 19. I don't, you tell me. It's just one of those things. So if it's 19, that would be like 9 or 10, depending on what they do. It's like impossible to document accurately, and that bothers the heck out of me, but that's what it is. I don't know what else to do. These videos shouldn't take this long. The enchanted armor, I was going to go into a Doom challenge, but I think what I'll do is I will do that off camera, and if I'm able to document anything, I will put it in the spreadsheet, and if I need more space to elaborate, I'll have an asterisk, and I'll put it down below in the post. And again, I mean, the way I do this, base, path 1, path 2, I do that so these videos are shorter, and if you just care about Lord of the Swords, you can see that. If you're curious about it because you took Swarm Summoner, you can kind of get the lowdown on it, but this is just hard to document. I'll just be straight up honest with you. You know, I prefer the straight up things like Spyro and Terrafin, Stealtha. You know, those are the good old days, and this is really cool stuff. It's just in terms of putting numbers with it. Good luck. You know, so main thing here, you've seen the upgrades, you saw them in the gameplay, you kind of got a feel for what they can do under some circumstances, so I'll leave you with that. Again, my apologies here, but I don't want to be here for an hour and a half trying to like perfect everything, you know, so I'll do that off camera. What I learn I will apply to the spreadsheet or post. Speaking of that, take the link at the top of the video description box. It will take you to a post dedicated to Krypt King. It'll have everything you need to know, including the spreadsheet with his attack damage numbers. You can compare paths, attack damage numbers, whatever you need to do, help you pick the best path for your Krypt King or Nitro Krypt King. And that's it. You can follow me on Twitter, like me on Facebook, circle me on Google+, whichever you prefer. Make sure you are subscribed here. Again, most of the upgrade sessions go smooth. This one does not, but it's still cool stuff. So similarly, check out the Skylander Club, SkylanderClub.com. Check it out. If you like what you see, sign up. We'd love to have you. I'm going to end this, come in here, upgrade Nitro Krypt King down the Swarm Summoner path, so stay tuned for that, and once again, thanks so much for watching.